How is everybody doing? Looks like we are coming alive. And we are good to go. Okay. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. It is July 8th, 2021. Let's take a look at what the market has today. All right. So we've been discussing this week the idea that this momentum move in the market is challenging to fight for bears, ultimately not knowing where this momentum will end and seeing multiple risk parameters in the market starting to show themselves much more clearly. We've had a couple of discussions about the interest rates, which are at this time still in a bit of a free fall. The 10-year interest rate has now hit about 1.3%. And that has been raising the TLT, which is going to be our sort of 20-year bond ETF. We can look at other ETF blends like a 10 and 20-year blend on the TLH and see that these have been rising quite quickly in the past couple of sessions. As with everything, we expect this momentum to carry itself out until it hits some sort of short-term topping point. And with the TLT, we do have some potential for this momentum move to be slowing based on the technical overview of historical prices. So we can see that in the past, the TLT has had some significant reactions around roughly the 150 area, and we are starting to come into this area. So as we approach this from below, specifically on momentum, we want to see if this is going to be a short-term stopping point for interest rates to either stabilize on the downside and the TLT to ultimately consolidate or pull back sharply. Which one will occur, we'll yet to see. We also have the 200 period moving average on the TLT. This is a good sort of general target on this move. And I would say that if we were looking on the long setup, this would be an area to consider taking profit after this move has played itself out. Now, this is a very technical overview of a market that has a lot of capital and notional value inside of the stock market. Essentially, the bond market is a large area and takes a lot of capital to move. So what we are seeing in this movement is a slightly perplexing move in terms of how fast it's occurring. But also we want to respect the fact that this could be the start of something much larger. And the impact that it's having on the SPY, on the marketplace, and specifically on the NASDAQ, which has seen some significant growth in the past couple of sessions, that is starting to corrode and fall apart to some degree this morning. So let's look at our SPY once again. And let's pull up our 4-hour perspective to see some of the pre-market action. Now, with momentum moves, oftentimes momentum begets more momentum. You often see the trend forming. We have indicators to kind of help us either get into the trend and essentially ride the momentum as long as possible. But there does come a point where exhaustion plays into account. Oftentimes, there is some larger supply zone that needs to be met, or the buyers simply run out of demand for the marketplace with sellers starting to take back over. while it did take a couple of sessions and while the risk parameters were high in other areas, we did see the market move slightly higher. Now we are seeing what is more common, which is the sharp correction back to where we came from. This often happens on momentum moves simply because structurally there is not a lot of previous value zones for the market to hold on the way back down. Usually these untested areas, the fact that momentum has not waved in and out and basically confirmed liquidity at different areas, means that on the correction, usually there is less support, and the correction tends to be quick. It tends to also be very violent and very volatile, which we are seeing based on some other parameters. Now, the warning that was thrown last couple of sessions was that a lot of our sectors were in more of a bearish posture. They had some reason to consider more downside moving forward. And yet the tech, consumer discretionary, specifically Amazon, and other key market cap names were holding. Therefore, the market could move slightly higher. The momentum was continuing. But the issue was that if ever this changed, specifically short term, we would see a very specific issue come into the market where other sectors have to pick up the slack of the tech sector. And if they do not, we would end up with, at the very least, an intraday session like today, which is opening quite weak. We have the Qs in a similar posture coming very sharply down. This is approximately a 1.5% correction from yesterday's close. And while we do have still the bullish trend posture in place, we can see how quickly the market likes to come back and test this area based upon some of these parameters. So when it comes to volatility, we need to note this morning that the VIX is not only elevated, but in a posture to potentially break through a previous swing high. Now, for the VIX, the technicals mean slightly less. It's not necessarily that there's a, I would say a trigger relative to swing highs and swing lows. But as far as history is concerned, pull this back to a 2-year weekly, we can see that a lot of the VIX moves higher have been met with basically pullbacks and making new lows inside of the VIX. Oftentimes these weekly candles close strong with topping wicks and then start to self-correct as the market has been moving higher week in and week out. If we ever see a VIX close where we are closing above a previous swing high, I would say that this may start to prevent or present more fear inside the marketplace. We're in a posture of risk relative to the VIX and relative to today. We also have a dollar index that so far has not been pulling back. So far, this short-term, counter trend rally has been moving higher without any form of significant correction. And what we're looking for is a moment like this where the dollar starts to pull back much more heavily. So far, that has not taken place. So looking at this morning, yes, the market corrected quite quickly. Some may say that we're in a bit of a, hourly, maybe short-term oversold conditions, and that may lead to the market having a pretty strong bounce today. But it goes to the fact that the marketplace has been moving higher and higher day in and day out. And as we look at weekly postures inside of just the SPY, we note how far extended we are both in the long term but also in the case of just a weekly moving average, anything that would indicate support. You can also look at the Qs and see that this is, I believe, 7 or 8 weeks of continual higher highs and higher lows on the weekly candles, which means that if we are to form a relative correction based on this impulsive move, we need to be prepared for downside that looks more like previous examples. Normally, coming back to the 20 period is sort of normal market behavior on multiple time frames, whether it be daily, weekly, and obviously long term, we are still in this posture of high extension on the NASDAQ. So we certainly want to be prepared for what the market can give if corrections take longer or exceed expectations. So some additional risks that are showing themselves today. The IWM has been selling for the past couple of sessions. We've seen weakness in financials, which has led the IWM lower, avoiding that all-time high breakout that we were looking to potentially have. We also note that the IWM had some large market cap names that have been quite volatile, notably AMC, the third largest market cap in the IWM at this time. If you're looking at AMC today, we are testing $40, and that correction has been occurring over the past couple of days. So some weakness has occurred both sector-wide and particular stock-wide. These are the large market cap names that can actually do some movement inside of these indexes. For those, let's see. I don't know why, but it's not showing the Russell anymore. That is odd. Okay, never mind. I was going to show the heat map there, but the Russell is not showing anymore. So we just need to take into account that these corrections are normal. How they occur gives us indication of how they are to correct themselves. And we also need to be prepared for the fact that the bullish context of this market has been going on for a long time. So these tops that are being set short term can lead to larger downside moves if things truly are changing under the hood. It does look as if money flow, specifically to the healthcare sector, is also somewhat of a short-term risk, I would say, parameter in this market. Usually healthcare is one of the early sectors to outperform whenever markets are about to top. And this is, just based on some very generic sector rotation and market cycle theory. Oftentimes when healthcare is the leader, and specifically other sectors are underperforming the overall market, with healthcare sort of being the star, that is not indicative of a market that is ready to make new highs. Oftentimes, this becomes sort of the beginning of a larger cyclical top. We see a larger correction, and usually the momentum in the market starts to fade as we are seeing interest rates go down this morning, but the tech sector is not up. Interest rates are going down, so the financial sector is getting hurt. And all of our risk-on assets like the IWM and some of our growth names are underperforming today. Obviously, just one data point, but this has been the case over the past couple of sessions. We've been seeing this day in and day out. We are just now seeing some consequence of this in the form of the SPY correction. So looking to today, we want to be aware that this is the first down day in a momentum move in quite a while. So are we a bit oversold based on the move so far? Possibly. We do have some hourly RSI readings down in the teens. I would say usually on big, strong moves, if you have some nice sort of short-term oversold conditions, you can play those with, sort of the bounce mindset in mind. If markets truly get weak today, with things like the VIX continuing to rise, the dollar index not pulling back, bonds continuing to rally, although we do have a potential target in mind with our 200 period moving average and historical price levels around these areas. I would say ZB probably less clear than the ZN, which is the 10-year. Actually, that has been cleared already. So this is actually less indicative on these futures contracts. So we'll just use the TLT for now. All of these things culminating together means that this market may want to go lower, and the low of this correction may not yet be set. We have a lot of downside space to form a higher low in the market. So if you're simply looking at trend structure, you're saying that the market did make a new high, the pullback can occur and still have lots of room to make a higher low. And in that case, you may want to be looking more to these daily opportunities. I would say the previous all-time highs coincides quite well with the 20 period moving average. So intraday, we can play these bounces, but if you're looking for swing or opportunities to define risk, we are still in a risky posture up at these elevated levels. And just know that even if we do get a bounce today, this may not be setting the low to make a new all-time high. In fact, it may not even occur on this move based on some of these risks that the market is highlighting throughout different sectors. So keeping all that in mind, this correction, I would say, is not normal in the sense of its speed, but it is one of the main thesis ideas that has been carried forward because of how we got here. We moved higher on momentum and momentum alone. We had large market cap names carrying the weight. And now that everything is down this morning, we are seeing the consequence of this correction, the lack of, I would say, support tests, the lack of point of control tests, and ultimately, let's say we're on a 30-day, 10-hour. We'll pull up the volume profile here. We can see that this market has been extended through this move, and we have potentially set another trading range for us to evaluate. Ultimately, we're looking for that swing low to occur, and some opportunities may be some of the previous trading ranges, which is why the all-time high is still marked. We also have this shelf that has formed in pre-market. This has been based on some consolidative price action that has occurred during this momentum move. And then obviously, if we start to fall back lower, we have some lower support zones and our main volume point of control back inside of the trading range. Ultimately, we have not really moved VPOC much higher on this breakout that has occurred. So keeping all this in mind, move forward today with that understanding that this pullback is violent, it's volatile, and ultimately can go lower. We have not necessarily seen the low set. We will evaluate that potentially tomorrow and see if things are just, once again, 1 day worth of fear, risk, and lots of things sort of moving in the same direction at the same time. Or is this the start of something much larger? Obviously yet to be seen, but we must respect the loss that has occurred on this momentum move so far. Okay, so quick evaluation of some of those sectors that are giving us those risks. We want to see if these start to correct and maybe give us better potential for the bounce today. I would say that financials are definitely on high watch. If we look at short term, we see that they are selling off once again. But if we look longer term, we are coming back into this previous swing high area. This is where the market corrected the first time after the FOMC minutes inside of mid-June. We had high volume capitulation occur at this point. And while we are rolling over, we are seeing moving averages starting to cross. This area is worth evaluating because we have set this lower trading range. And ultimately, we're trying to see which direction financials want to go. Ultimately, if bonds do pull back today, specifically at those targeted areas, I would like to see financials catch a bid, because that means interest rates may be starting to stabilize and money flow may be interested in financials once again. But until then, we will, remain vigilant. Energy. We've seen crude form a short-term topping pattern. We see that crude today is down once again. This is the reason why we mark these key target areas and the reason why you sell into strength. Just reiterating this fact, this has been known for ever since this breakout occurred, we've had these targets. So if you were looking at energy and crude, this should have been on your watch list. But energy pulling back additional today. Very similar to financials, I'd like to see this either stabilize with interest rates stabilizing as well, or if financials continue to sell, I expect energy to also take some of that correlated sell-off. Tech sector, obviously, very strong move so far. We're having that sort of weakness this morning, and we're simply looking for the higher low to be set inside of this strong momentum move. We expect demand to be high in this area, and while this swing low that we're looking to find may not facilitate new all-time highs, it may give us the risk parameters needed to assess whether tech wants higher or wants to stabilize in this upper range. Ultimately, similar to the SPY, we are very far extended from the 20-period moving average. Normally, on these corrections, I'm looking to find a previous demand zone close to these areas and looking at things like previous swing highs and also areas of balance in the market. We can look at volume profile to get an idea of where those might occur. Short term, we have these sessions here, which we're coming into. And I would say as we pull in deeper, we're looking at things like VA highs from the past 30 days. So roughly the 145 area would be a very key stopping point for this market to kind of hold. So, and let's see, finally, I would say healthcare. This is that, risk off sector that's starting to really show itself in full force. Not only is this move quite powerful and very different from some of the momentum in other sectors. Yes, we are getting the correction. So very similar to tech, we have, the reasoning to look for the higher lows, but the volume specifically is what's of interest. Why is healthcare outperforming many other inflationary sectors? And why has this sector been breaking out as of late? Is it correlation, or is the market trying to say that money flow is starting to move into less risky, higher dividend yield sectors like healthcare and like utilities? We've seen utilities catch a little bit of a bid off of the 200 period, ultimately still in this lower term trading range. But similar to bonds, we need to ask ourselves, why are these assets performing so well while the market is making new highs? Are we seeing divergence? Are we seeing some sort of larger term adjustment being made, and our large is big money moving to less risky assets. That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. So all right, so very interesting sell-off this morning. We have a lot of stocks on watch, so I'm actually going to call it a bit early. There's a lot of prep that needs to be done if you're intraday trading today. Lots of stocks that provide some opportunity. I will say the final thing is that a lot of volatility is also being seen inside of the crypto market this morning. For those watching Bitcoin, we have seen multiple attempts to break approximately the 35,000 range. Bring this to a 1 hour. Essentially, the market has been consolidating, quote unquote, starting to tighten this range. And it does appear as if we finally hit that sort of breaking point where the market could no longer stay in this area inside of balance. And we are seeing a bit of a sharp sell-off here. We have already hit 32,000 inside of Bitcoin, at least in the futures. I won't bring up the BTC USD chart, but this energy has been building for a while. We were looking for a larger move. And ultimately, we had to ask ourselves, with the market outperforming in the past couple of sessions, the crypto market was very lackluster. Ultimately, not really seeing upside, but also not seeing downside, sort of waiting for information. And now that we have some information, specifically in this sort of pennant structure, we have to ask ourselves, if the market does start to correct hard, and additionally, if the dollar does not show additional weakness in the short term, where is the bullish thesis for the crypto assets? Usually, specifically crypto, Ethereum, they do tend to perform well when the tech sector is performing well. And so far, Ethereum has been actually a pretty nice outperformer from the bounce. We are seeing that volatility hit even our strongest performers, like some of the altcoins that have had nice significant gains from this Bitcoin low back at 28.8. So we will see how this all plays out. This is the first day of a sharper correction. We're going to be looking for the next swing low to be set. But as always, as traders, it's important to understand that as you're looking into a move, you need to have your targets. You need to understand that markets can go slightly higher from your targets. And the entire purpose is to avoid selling into weakness. We've seen it with crude. We've seen it with financials and the energy stocks pulling back quite heavily. Travel sector has not really caught a bid. Airlines, cruises, tech was the leader and the star in the past couple of sessions. Those may have some continued upside, but right now we are seeing that pullback occur. So whether you're out, whether you've hit your targets and looking for the next opportunity, or whether you're actually shorting into the strength, looking for the sharp correction, I just want to say congratulations to those who play this market well, but use these as examples and understand that this can be larger term shifts inside of a bigger market cycle effect. So we will see how that plays out next couple of sessions. Obviously, I'm Jarad, engineering the markets. Stay tuned for Carlos and Norm with pre-market prep, and we'll see how volatile today gets, or if it is just that 1 day worth of fixing some structure below. So trade safe, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope you had an amazing day yesterday. Hope you're having an amazing morning so far. So, good morning, Noam. How are you today, my brother?
Morning, bro. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. All right, guys, let's get to it. Looking at our gappers list so far this morning, Jared kind of went through a lot of this already so far, but you can see just a ton of stuff in the red this morning. Well, everything, just the entire market looks like is in our gappers list today. So it'll be an interesting day
Yep.
today to go through things. And notice what's even more interesting. Look what's capping up. It's all nothing but low flow stocks. Everything in bright yellow here. 5.2, 14, 6.1, and a scary one here, Car V. We traded this before, 553,000. So will be an interesting day for sure, guys. Let's look at some of the stuff we had yesterday. We'll talk a little bit about today's market with Norm in a sec. But now let's take a look at yesterday's action, starting with AMC. That was on our list yesterday. Let's get our 5 minute from the 7th. This will be right around here. Again, just you're gonna see that this kind of theme go across the board, right? Big drop offs on the market open for a lot of stocks. This one tried to get above this level here, was not able to. Then a huge drop. Nice continuation here. Not as clean, guys. You know, AMC could be very difficult to trade, especially towards the downside, because just how crazy the pullbacks can be at times. So that was AMC. Then we have Apple. Apple was actually pretty nice, guys. It did give you a nice engulfing pattern here towards the top. Does break out nicely. I believe it would have traded a whole lot better if the market would have been a little bit stronger, but obviously was not able to continue and does drop down. It is able to come back later in the day and get close to that 145. I'm not sure if we did we hit. I don't think we hit it, but it got close to it, guys. That's been the close to that level of resistance that we have on Apple. It's just been incredible, very very strong. Obviously today gapping down like everything else with some volume. We'll get to that in a second. Here's PLTR. It's amazing how PLTR was one of the stocks that probably looked the best in continuation wise, right? Nice breakdown here. Gives you a little bit of a reverse ABCD pattern. Cannot stay above the VWAP, cannot stay above these moving averages, and then slams down below the low of the day, which is this here at that time. That is a great indication. It's a great setup here for sure, and it gives you an amazing continuation, guys. Just hitting these levels that we had in our thing already. 23.48. We had 23 as well. Just he hits this perfectly and straight down here. So again, very very nice there, guys. On POTR. Then we have Facebook here, a little bit messy, not too clean. It's still in somewhat of a downtrend, but not as clean as some of the other stuff we had. CCL was amazing as well, guys. Did give you a nice pop. Did try to get going here. Was not able to. Then gravity kind of takes control here, and this thing just drops nicely, losing the low of the day. This 24.69 that we had here. Very, I think that's a low of the pre-market as well. Low of the day at that time, and I believe was it low of the pre-market or it's a daily? Oh no, it's a daily level. So it's daily level there, loses that. And then from there, just again, just waterfalls, guys, all the way down. So that was nice on CCL. Then from there, just goes sideways a little bit. Not a whole lot going on there. Here's Neo. Some of the other ones that we had on deck, Neo was nice as too. Space was okay. Nice little drop there. Again, just everything, guys. VXRT, this was nice. It started off very strong. We were talking about this in the chat, and then just collapses, guys. The rug gets pulled under this one, and you can see here, just a nice little drop there. They had some news that came out early on that was nice, but again, just could not hold yesterday. So we'll see today what's going on with the overall market. Norm, what's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, I mean, Jared did a great job of breaking it down, so I'm not going to retread on that. I'll just, this is a pretty decent drop, biggest gap down we've seen in a bit. But 1.5%. It's pretty broad too. That's there's most of the sectors are getting hit. So it'll be interesting to see how this day unfolds. VIX is up quite a bit this morning. It's up 27% at the moment. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we will definitely see.
Jobless claims just came out. They were a little bit worse than expected. Continuing claims were essentially what was expected. So hasn't really made much of a change there. And that's the most important economic data we'll get today. So I'll add that part as well.
All right, excellent. Guys, let's get to it. Let's remove our list here. And I want to share something with you. One of our members, Jay Phil, sent me this yesterday. That's his name over in the community. an amazing information I got here for you guys. So now we could do now here, if you select everything on your watch list and you hit Control X, you can actually clear the rows without having to delete them the way I do, right? So it just saves you a couple of seconds. Let's try that today. I tried it yesterday and it worked pretty well.
Yeah. So what is
Yeah.
it?
So here's what it is. You select everything on your watch list, right? So Control A, right? You select everything, and then Control X. And oops, hold on. Did I miss anything? Yes, I did. Oh, why is it not? Maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, Control X. Oh, hold on a second. Control X deletes everything without deleting there though. Okay, so you have to actually select it all. For example, let's do it again here. AMC, AMD, NVIDIA. What do we have here? People like Apple, whatever. Okay, so that you hold shift and up, right? Select everything, and then you do Control X. And that gets rid of everything without removing the rows. How nice.
I love the morning we have 3,000 tickers on the watch list. You're doing tech tips.
That's right. You know why? Because I know we're not going to get to all that anyway.
So you really want to challenge is what you're trying to make it even more difficult to get through this than
Absolutely. You know, the funny thing is on these days, you know, you could just watch some of the tickers that you're used to watching, and you'll be fine. You know, it's just look at the spy guys like on day like today and be very patient. No, not Norm. What's his name? Eamon already sent out his list. He says everything gaps so much, I'm not watching anything, right? So he has.
Okay, now I'm gonna add to that. I won't trade today because of it. I hate these big gap down days. Whenever they've happened, and they're very rare, so it doesn't bother me. You know, it doesn't bother me to sit on my hands today just to maybe watch tennis, watch the markets a little bit, participate in the chat room. But I found once in a while when we have these big gap days, I just trade terribly.
Yep.
I think maybe I'm more worried about my long-term stuff getting hit than I am, you know, I get a bias and I have no idea why. Anyway, that's just
so instead of doing a watch, do we want to just talk about life, or what do we want to do here, Norm?
Let's give the people what they came here for.
Let's get to it, guys. All right, our gapping up list this morning is all low flow stocks. So let's go through there now. CarV, although this is 550,000, again, very scary number as a low flow. As the flow of this stock, we have seen this trade actually very decent before for a low flow. You just got to be very careful, guys. Again, I can't say it enough how dangerous these low flow stocks are, especially one sitting at 550. But I see
that's a micro flow. This one we traded last year. So this is actually CarV and UONE. We used to trade. I don't know that I traded either of them, but they're both minority-owned businesses. So last year, when a lot of the talk about equality and everything was going on, a lot of corporations and such were talking about investments in Black-owned businesses, and these two are, and so they benefited greatly from them. That having been said, something with 500,000 share float and 28% short interest nearly, that's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah. So again, guys, we can't stress it enough. Be very, very careful. They are both definitely in play, looking very good this morning. Again, just be mindful. We'll put them on here. U1, and we also have Game. Game is 14 million shares flow, but this is not looking any good. Recent IPO as well, only 221,000. Again, just doesn't look great there. And here we have DBGI. This is a 5.2. Also not looking too exciting. Could get better. They're slamming up against down against the previous day close, trying to get a bounce going here. We'll put it on here. I'm not sure if it's gonna look any good later as we move forward here. All right, now let's tackle this massive list that we have here, our gapping down. We'll look at the double digits only. We'll look at anything up here from, actually we got some more low flows there. And then we'll take it to the room because there's way too many. So we're going to need your help today to find some stocks that might be worth watching. On a day like today, if anything has an individual catalyst, that's a good one. That's separate from what the market is doing. Those are the good ones to try to find. But again, they're very difficult when you have such a massive list to find those. QFIN this morning, they're down 23%, 900,000 shares traded. Again, big drop for them. They've been just getting hammered here. The daily doesn't look too good, right? Could be better today. They're already trading 900, which is almost a quarter of the volume they're normally doing, so that's nice. I'm going to put that on here. What's the float on this? 10, 109. Let's put it on here. Again, typically not something we would watch. I do like the pre-market action here, and this looks like this thing's been getting a nice little hit here. New egg just was insane yesterday, guys. It's been insane all week, but yesterday, going from 30 all the way up to $80, the high of the day yesterday. So just insane. On the way up, it wasn't pretty, guys. A couple of halts in there. Halts. So you got to be very, very careful with this one if you're going to be trading this one. This morning is down 18.6. I don't like the second day after such a big day like this. It can be very, very choppy, very unpredictable. I mean, this will be our entertainment stock of the day. That's probably the best that we can do with that this morning. Again, be very careful, guys. Actually, it's a 3.1 million shares flow. It is a low flow stock, and their catalyst is just makes no sense. Well, not that it makes no sense, but their catalyst that they're going to start building custom PCs. Like that is like we're in the 1990s or something, right? It's been out for such a long time. We'll see where this goes. LX here, guys, not looking too good. Up down 16%, 112,000 shares traded. I do not like the pre-market action on this one. I do not like the volume. We'll skip on that for now. Next, we have a I was almost said FinViz, but it says FinV. And this one here is down 15.2, 201,000 shares traded. Also not looking very good, guys, as far as the daily and the pre-market action. So not a fan of it. We'll skip on this one. JZXN. Again, we got some really weird stocks coming up in our gappers list this morning. This one here also not looking good, guys. Do not like the daily, do not like the pre-market action, even with this 1 million shares flow.
So when I sat down this morning, this was actually on the gap up list. These Chinese stocks are getting hammered because of what we've talked about with what happened with Didi. There was another Chinese company set to IPO over here, and they're like, nope, don't want to do that. Not going to mess with it. And they gave up. So there's a ton of Chinese tickers on here as you go down the list.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother with this, guys. Let's look at Emrin this morning. They are down 13.7. This could get very active as we've seen in the past. They are a low flow stock. Again, we just got too many low flows today. We'll see what we can pick off of this and keep on as our main low flow list. Next, we do have AMC this morning. Again, they're very active. I think they're worth taking a look at today, having on our list. We'll put them on there. And I am going to stop here because we won't be able to get through some of these. Now, I'm going to look at some hot ones that we've been watching over the last couple of days. That's going to be Apple. Apple is a good one to keep on deck, obviously, with the way the market is right now. Apple is going to follow suit and is going to do it with great volume. Already 2.7 million shares traded on Apple, so that's very good volume on it. We'll keep an eye on that one. Let's take a look at our good buddy AMD. Big drop yesterday. Today, it's got okay volume. It's decent. Maybe AMD is one that we can take a look at. You can also, I'm not going to add this one, but you can also take a look at NVIDIA. You can take a look at some of the other stocks that have been in the tech sector that's been so strong or pulling back a little bit now. I'm going to go with Apple and I'm going to go with AMD because those two, aside from this drop, the last couple of weeks, they've been just amazing, right? Let's look at two in the travel sector that we like. CCL, they're down 5%. 1 million shares traded this morning. I love this drop on CCL, and CCL has just been getting killed over the last month or so. There's nothing but it's just a downturn on them this morning. Over the last couple of days here. So I like CCL. I think I'm going to watch that one. Just want to get a feel for different sectors on how they're going to be doing here, especially with the way the market is. American Airlines is down nicely. Maybe a paso for American Airlines. And I will stop here. Oh, no, one more. I know that you guys are going to throw this one out at me. NEO. Let's take a look at NEO now. NEO is down 5.7, 2.1 million. So if you want to watch something in that area, we can watch NEO. Tesla is another one that you can put on deck as well if you do want to watch any of the EVs vehicles tickers this morning. All right, let's take it over to the room, guys. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to expand this. Chris, we'll start with you. You're at NEO AMC. Yep, we have all of those. Perfect. Yep, that's a good list there. Heading on down, we have Chris and CCL might be good too. I agree. We have that one on there. Chris is all over the place this morning. Who else we have? Kenneth. You are watching RKT. RKT, what do we have here? RKT, Rocket Mortgage. This doesn't trade very well. So unless there's any news, it's not a great intraday trading stock. So I'm going to stay away from it, guys, especially on a day like today. unless they have any specific news to themselves. PLTR had a great day yesterday, man. Surprisingly so. They had a nice drop. Already pre-market action is looking very good. They got 1.1 million shares traded. Could be a good possible. But again, we just be prepared to be in a very choppy market condition today, right? So people trying to figure out, are we going any lower? Are we bouncing from here? It's just going to be messy. It might not be, but I'm prepared for it to be messy. This is why a lot of traders, Norm and already Eamon, are not going to trade today, because they know, based on experience, these are not their best performing days, right? We could be completely wrong, but you want to do what works for you more often than not. It's very, very important. So space this morning, I like their daily here. Volume is 727. It's okay. We could put it as a possible. It's all right. What else do we have? Oxy. What do we have here on Oxy? No, it's all right. I mean, they don't got a whole lot of volume. They're just dropping with the market. So I already got some stocks that are not going to do not have their own catalyst, or just going to be moving with the market, that I think are going to have better volume and just better movement, right? So like an Apple, AMC, and AMD. So something like Oxy,
So I'll make a point on that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad to have Oxy on here. The oil markets have been quite the movers the last few days. Had a big run up on this. It might. I mean, I know that AMC, Apple, AMD are good proxies for the overall market. Oxy might move differently. It might move better. So I wouldn't put that in the same bucket with those other three myself, but that's just my personal preference.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah. So Oxy, you know what? We'll put Oxy on here. Just reading a question here. It says, Norm, will you happen to know why DAS has Newegg over 300 million, but Gappers List has it only at 3 million? Are you talking about the float? The float?
Yeah, he's talking about the float.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that. I answered the question. FinViz has the total outstanding shares at 3 million. So I don't know what the right answer is. Won't trade this anyway. But especially number one with that move, that looks more like 3 million than 300 million for sure.
Yes.
And I'm going to take trade ideas. If I'm checking between, I would check between those three. I don't even look at DAS fundamentals. I don't use that. I use other things. Not that anything's wrong with it generally, but if there's a discrepancy, I would take trade ideas and FinViz over the DAS 300 million all day.
Absolutely. And again, the way that's moving, guys, I am more leaning to, like you said, no, that's probably 3 million. That's a very low float to be able to move the way that thing did yesterday, going from 30 to 80. 300 million doesn't do that. Not often. Very, very rare. United, guys. Yeah, I have American Airlines. You can watch United. Just keep an eye on some of the airlines this morning. I do have American Airlines already on here. They tend to have a little bit better volume and trade a little bit cleaner. So we'll see. MU this morning. Let's take a look. I don't know if MU is really. They got some great volume, but I have AMD already on here. So again, I just don't want to add too many. But you can watch MU as well. They actually got great volume. Usually MU does not get that much volume pre-market. And yes, they are losing some support areas as well here on their daily. So that could be interesting. Did we talk about space? I added space on here. Yeah, I like the space as a possible drop here. We are losing some levels of support here over at 44. We're just right below that. So this could be interesting. We got some decent volume on it. Pre-market looks clean. So if the market can head lower here, this can actually follow suit. And I like the fact that we're losing area of support. So if anybody's long here and we start dropping here, that they'll be bailing, and that could be good for us there. Let's go to Wish. At the moment, man, just the volume on Wish every morning, 2.5, 1.5. It's just always very high, but it just doesn't look great, though. I mean, it's just something about this stock at the moment. I don't like the way the pre-market looks. But the volume
I'm gonna correct myself on Newegg once you get through with that.
Okay, perfect. It's just always very high, guys. So again, let's put it on here. I'm not a big fan of it. It can be very choppy at the open. And a day like today, I think we have some better stocks that we can take a look at. Norm, what you got for us?
So if you pull up the fundamentals there, which you have it, that's all right. You don't need to change it. But in the fundamentals window up there on Newegg. So the market cap of Newegg is not 187 million. That's exceptionally small. They pushed it up to over 20 billion yesterday, which is ridiculously overvalued. if you take the float or the outstanding shares even of what's listed around 3 million, and you multiply it by it, can you pull up FinViz for me?
Yeah, we can. Absolutely.
And
Let's bring that up.
pull up FinViz. I'm going to show you why this is wrong. At least it
Actually,
seems to be. It's not 100%, but pull up FinViz, pull it up to Newegg. So if you take the total outstanding shares around 3 million on FinViz, you multiply it by the price of 75, you get no FinViz, the website. Yep.
Here we go. And then Newegg here, right?
Yep,
Newegg.
NEGG.
There we go.
All right, scroll down just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going until you get all the fundamentals right there. So it says shares outstanding 3.6. That's not the float. That's the total number of shares, supposedly. And you got the price it has around $70, just round it out. If you multiply that, you get about $250 million, even though the market cap over on the far left, the top number is 22.79 billion. That math is obviously way off. Mm-hmm. So that number, something's wrong there.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that makes
anyway.
sense. That makes sense. Yeah, so again, but guys, treat it with, again, white glove service on that one, man. Just handle with care. That thing is an animal. I think aside from the numbers and us being, having incorrect data, you saw what happened yesterday. You saw the way this thing was moving. You saw the couple of halts that it had on the way up. I mean, this thing opened up and seconds later it was halted again. So just be very, very careful. I think I won't trade at something like this today because the second day is usually very, very choppy. Already no shares for sure on this. So just be careful on that one. All right, David from Connecticut, I left off there. He was giving me, I forgot what it was, but he was giving me, where are we at, David from Connecticut? A lot of messages this morning. Plug. Let's look at Plug there. All right, so Plug this morning, nice big red bar. Yesterday, losing some of these areas of key levels of support and resistance. This could be interesting, guys. I do like the volume on it. And I like Plug. I actually like Plug better than PLTR at times. I think it trades a whole lot cleaner. Even with less volume, I think it's a nice one to have. All right, scrolling down, guys, space we have on deck. We'll take a closer look at that one. MEU is good. We have, what else we have here? Heading on down. SPY, yes, we're going to be taking a close look at the SPY today. It's a must watch. Newegg is on deck. Do we have Newegg on here? I do have it as a low flow, but again, I won't be trading it. That's my entertainment stock for the day. Heading down, what do we have? CCL, we do have on deck. That's good. I don't know if there's any catalyst on CCL. Tesla is a good one as well. I have NEO instead, but you can watch Tesla. You can also watch XBEV. Take a look at XBEV as well. That could be a nice one. I like the daily on XBEV actually because we're losing some of these levels of great support here. We've been consolidating sideways after such a huge run up. So this could be nice today. Wish, yeah, Kenneth, I agree. Wish is like Snap. It's just, it pushes volume around. It could be very, very choppy at times. All right, guys, we'll stop here. I think we got through most of this. TIGR. Dropping nice. I'm just not a fan of TIGR, man. So if you like that one, you can watch it. I just don't like the way this thing trades at times. Yeah, I don't know. We'll put it on here. We can come back to it and take a second look. All right, guys. All right, a few more here. AJ, we'll do you as the last one here. DKNG this morning. I like the drop here, but again, it's just not a whole lot of volume for DKNG. At least not a great pre-market action this morning. But again, guys, everything looks like this, right? You have the big drop and a nice gap down this morning. So we'll have to see. And then Game, we do have Game. I think we looked at Game earlier. They didn't have great volume. It's just they have great volume. Recent IPO here, 254. Yeah, I think today we'll have some better stuff to look at this morning. All right, over on YouTube, we got a couple of minutes. Let's take a look here. We'll start with Nigma. You're giving us XELA, XELA. And this one has been a former runner in the past this morning. They are down 13.7 with 9.2 million shares traded. I want to check what the float is on this bad boy. So XELA today, they are a 11.4 million shares flow. So again, we got so many low flow stocks today. We'll add this one on here. Why not? Let's make the list bigger, and then we can fine tune it. DKG, we looked at it. It looks okay. CarV we have down there, another low flow that's very active this morning. CCL we do have We also have American Airlines from the travel sector. You can also watch United. Someone threw out United as well. So that's also, again, just over the last couple of weeks here, taking a nice hit, all these airlines and travel companies. I don't know why, because the airport is packed. So just not sure what's going on there. CND, is this a Canadian dollar? What is this? What is CND? What's going on here? Concord Acquisitions. Yeah, this looks
back.
Yeah, this looks no good, guys. Again, it's just pushing volume around. Don't get fooled by this 4.8 because this looks horrible the way this thing is trading. So I don't like what I'm seeing there. Uber. Anything going on with Uber?
No.
No, nothing
Trades
happening.
it day trades terribly as well.
Yeah, it really does. So nothing happening there. Twitter, Snap, I don't see no volume on these this morning. Again, they're dropping just with the overall market, so I don't see anything great on them. And their volume is pretty light. You have some news from
Our previous president it announced he's suing the tech giants yesterday, so that might be affecting Twitter.
Did not know about that. Could be interesting. So Twitter here is down quite a bit, 3.3145. We'll watch Twitter. Let's see how that's going to affect. Things with the catalyst, guys, are going to be the ones you want to watch today. A lot on here. It's all in red besides some low floats. Don't have a catalyst, so we just got to wait to see how they're going to play out. Kayla, we'll do the last one there. Workhorse this morning. Workhorse. Yeah, no, it's again, there's nothing out of the norm on this one besides everything we have on our list already, right? Everything looks just like this, so nothing too crazy here. I do like their pre-market action. They're trying to find a base here, but I just have no space. You know what? That would be the last one I add, I promise. Last one. All right, guys, let's stop here. We have a massive list, but it's going to be very easy to fine-tune this because, again, it's one of those days where we're going to be extremely picky. Let's go over to our community announcements. We'll come back and fine-tune this list.
All right. Eamon's webinar on breakouts is posted. Then next week, we're going to have Thor talking about how to read level 2. That should be, I'm going to guess, we're going to have a busy room for that one. So,
yes, we will.
And then last night, I believe Dr. Reed's webinar is already posted about the wisdom of Mark Douglas. Not sure what we have next week. But we'll have all that ready for you either tomorrow or Monday. Give you the lowdown. Who is Thor? All right, BBT member trade of the day. Take a screenshot of your best trade of the day with entries and exits. Give any commentary you can to describe the trade. Post it on Twitter. Tag at Verbal Traders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT Family. Day trading and stock market will announce the winner each afternoon on Twitter and in the room, and then the team will vote on all of the trades of the day for that week for trade of the week, which will be announced on Monday. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't tried out the chat, you can use the promo code PREMARKET24 to get a discount off the intro membership. This intro membership cancels itself. It does not auto-renew. It's 7 days, 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the chat room. Also gives you access to the classes we do every Monday night, which are onboarding and technology at 8 p.m. Eastern live. Like I said, it cancels, and then you have to actively go back and choose another membership category like monthly or annual if you want to continue, if you feel like the room's a good fit. Also, we've got a couple more days on this Fireworks 40 promotion. You can get 40% off the annual elite membership by using the promo code Fireworks 40.
Guys, let's get to it. Let's fine-tune our list for this morning, starting with our possibles. We have American Airlines here, which actually I'm going to move up because I do want to watch American Airlines, so we'll move that one up there. We'll get rid of it from our possibles list, and we will move up as well. POTR, I think it's a great possible. It traded very clean yesterday. Very, very nice drop here, guys. If you saw it, it was just probably one of the cleaner stocks that we had yesterday on our list. A lot of the other stocks, they kind of popped up and then did this and then dropped, right? But this one just right from the get-go, just just dropping nicely. Space this morning here looking, no, that's yesterday, looking very good yesterday. This morning looking not as great. 787. I do like the daily. We'll keep it on here. Oxy could be good, as Norm mentioned. A lot of stuff going on there. Wish, I'm just gonna take this one off, guys. I mean, it's just it pushes a lot of volume, but it could be so choppy. If any of you guys are watching it, you see something, call it out in the chat room. But for the most part, I'm not going to be watching this one. Plug is good. I like the daily here for a possible loss of this level or a bounce, right? Not just a loss of this level. This level here, what I like about this daily, you have a great area of support happening here, great area of resistance. So obviously we're sitting right at an important spot here on a plug. So I like to see where that's going to go there. TIGR, I don't like this one, but I like the drop we're getting here on it. Twitter could have some possible news depending on how things go here. And we have Workhorse. So I think we got a great possibles list so far. We can reduce things a little bit more. We'll look at our low floats a little bit later. Let's take a look over at QFin. QFin this morning. This is down 20%. Again, their daily doesn't get great volume. Their pre-market action getting a little bit of a bounce here this morning. Could be interesting, guys. Could be interesting. So we'll keep it on here. AMC, you have to watch AMC, of course. We'll see what's happening there. Apple is a good one. We'll keep an eye on that one. AMD. AMD is going sideways right now, trying to hold on to this 87.40, so that's looking decent. I like the volume on AMD though, guys. If you look at the volume right now, we have 1 million shares traded on it. CCL has great volume as well. Neo is looking good. Man, I have way too many. Let's get rid of QFin. Let's get rid of QFin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what? No. Let's do levels. Let's do levels, and then we'll decide later what we're going to get rid of. Let's give it a little time because these are all looking decent this morning. So we'll leave that on there. Notice almost everything on our main list has amazing volume, right? Where the lowest one is American Airlines with 874. Everything is above a million here, 2.4, 1.2, 3.0. So we have great volume, which is what you want to see, guys. If the market is going to be, pushing around one way or the other, stocks that already have great volume can move nicely with it. So we will have to see how that's going to play out. All right, so let's start with levels with QFin here. Low of the pre-market 25.31. I'll put that right on there, so that's good. High of the pre-market sitting all the way at 31.53, so a level there. If we go back to our daily, we got a couple of nice spots over here. I like this one here over at 28.42. That is good. And then up here we have another great level of support and resistance at 30.57, so that is nice there as well. And actually, you know what? Where the price action is sitting at right now, this 26.53. That's another great spot. So I'm going to mark that down there as well. You have a great area of resistance happening right here. You got resistance that becomes support right on there. So again, just a whole lot going on here in this area. This 28. I'm sorry. Oops. Sorry. Here. This 26.72. Mark this down right over here. 26.72. Just a whole lot going on there, guys. You got area consolidation here, support happening here, resistance happening there. So that looks good. Definitely want to keep an eye on that. And it looks like in the pre-market already, we had a couple of touches on that around 27.02, 26.80 or so. A couple of touches there already so far. So you want to keep an eye on that. Guys, this thing is moving quite a bit. The low is at 25. Our high range here is at 28. That's a $3 range there. So again, be careful in the number of shares you're taking on this one. It is not a low flow stock. Let me just confirm that. I believe is 108. So it's not a low flow stock, but just still be mindful of the number of shares you are taking on QFin this morning. So like what I'm seeing there, the rest of the stocks on here, the rest of the tickers, we haven't really traded QFin in the past. Everything else on here is stuff that you already have seen almost every week in and out, right? So these are not unfamiliar to you. You know how they trade. You know how you have to be, how they behave a little bit, right? So let's start with AMC. This could be a little bit wild, as we know. Low of the pre-market, 39.33. Towards the bottom, we do have 35.61. And then in here, maybe 32. Again, it gets a little fuzzy in here because you don't have clean levels like you do up here. But 32.01 could, 32.10 could be a good one there. Now, towards the top, guys, you have plenty because we were stuck in several consolidations here, right? So you have tons of levels of support and resistance, and the highs and lows of the last two trading days are doing an amazing job taking care of that for you. If we look at the high of the pre-market, we can mark that down too. That's going to be over at 44.04.02 for AMC, right? So that looks good there. Very active, guys. Almost 5 million shares traded on AMC. That looks very good. Here is Apple, also looking very nice. Again, guys, while we're looking at all these stocks, we're going to be also looking at the SPY. because these stocks, a lot of these, they don't have their own catalyst, right? It's just the overall market, having a little bit of a pullback here. If the market it starts to bounce and be very strong towards the upside, stocks like Apple that probably have no business pulling back because they've been so strong. Stocks like AMD, which also been very strong. I don't know too much about CCL and American Airlines. They have not been strong. These stocks are just gonna, we've seen it so many times, they're just gonna take off, right? So eyes on the spy, and if we see that kind of strength, it's gonna be great to catch a ride on one of these if we can do that. So Apple right now, low of the pre-market 141.21. I think that's all you really need. You're surrounded by the last two highs and lows of the last two trading days, so you're pretty much set there on Apple. Let's look at AMD, guys. AMD's daily here, very interesting. Took a big hit yesterday. Low of the pre-market 87.21, so we'll throw a level there, and then below that we have another one right here, nice one over at 85.28. So great level of resistance that later becomes support, and the low of the pre-market right now, a great area of prior resistance right on here. So let's see if that's going to be able to become support this morning and hold here. I mean, a lot of it's not depending on AMD. It's going to be depending on the market, as we've been preaching this morning. Let's go to the left here. I want to find a level in between here. That's a big gap here between 90 and 87. It's almost $3. Let's see if we can find something here. Maybe right around 88.91 seems very good. Got a couple of days opening, closing right around that area, so that's good. And you have this 1 day over here, great area of resistance. So that looks good on Apple. 88.91 for AMD, excuse me, for AMD. So that looks good there. CCL this morning, we are looking at 1.2 million shares traded. Nice drop here. Again, these guys has been getting crushed. Aside from the market pulling back, they're not having a good time here. 22.75 low of the pre-market. Let's head towards the left here. And if we do that, let's look at our daily, see what we have. We are looking for some good levels out. Obviously, a very clean one right on here at 20.08. I don't think they'll get there today, but anything is possible the way they've been dropping. And up towards the top, in between here, we do have one right at 21.70. 21.70, another great level right on there, guys. You can put that on your list as well. You got a couple of areas of resistance. It's just banging their heads back and forth between this area, between these two levels, right? So 21.70 and 20.08 are pretty good there this morning. So you're pretty much set there on CCL. Again, this thing has been very, very weak. So anytime the market is weak, it's just taking a chance to dive even deeper there. Here's Neo. Neo, good volume, guys, 2.5, 43.31, low of the pre-market. Outside of that, we do have a level here towards the bottom. Let me see if I can get a better confirmation as well. Yeah, right there. Perfect. 41.45. Great area resistance. Some more resistance. Become support later down the line. Then we break out towards the next level, which is that 43.31. That pre-market low is a great area of resistance and some support happening right on here as well. Very nice. So I got some pretty good levels there towards the top, guys. High of the pre-market 44. Actually 45 to be exact. So we'll throw a level there at 45. You're pretty much set here with Neo, guys. This looks very, very good. Very active this morning, 2.5. So looking forward to that. Again, another one just like CCL, American Airlines just been taking a hit over since June, early June. It's just things started switching here, going the other way, the other direction. 19.56 is your low of your pre-market. Great area of support. We've seen that here. And major support too, because a few times that we dropped huge, we found support here. Same thing here, we kind of took up and came back down, found support there. Not quite, dipped a little below it, but still good. So yeah, so we'll see if we can hold here again. 19.56. Eventually these stocks get to a point where if it drops to a certain number, people are just going to buy it up because it's just a good value for what the stock is going to do in the future. So be mindful of that as well. What else we have? So American Airlines is good. Another level towards the bottom I'm going to add is going to be here over at 18.99. And if we drop lower than that, maybe 18.07. We'll be ready if it does drop lower than that. All right, so we are set there, guys. That is our list. And we can fine tune this a little bit more. Guys, you do not have to watch all these tickers, right? Let's be clear on that, because there was a comment last time, oh, Carlos, you got too many tickers. Yes, I do. You do not have to watch these many tickers. No, as we get to 9:30, we continue to fine tune this even further. I like to watch 6. You're starting out, you can watch 4 or less. The less the better. It could be more fine tuned. So keep that in mind. Let's fine tune our low flow stock, guys. Low flow list is just huge this morning. Emeren doesn't look too fun right now. Volume is not great. Let's get rid of it. If it hits our scanners, we can have fun with that. Newegg, this is my entertainment stock for today. I want to see where this goes this morning, so we'll keep that on there. Again, entertainment stock means I'm just watching it for fun, guys. Doesn't mean that I am putting on my list to actually trade. And usually the low flows is not something I really touch anyway. DBGI taking off here. This is going with some strength here, some good volume, 2 million in the last 5-minute candle. So it's starting to come alive big time here. So that's looking good. CAR-V is looking great. U1 kind of breaking down a little bit here. So I don't like that one too much. Let's get rid of it. And this one too, XLA here, whatever that is. Let's get rid of that. I think we have some good ones here. DBGI is looking good. Great volume coming in now. Let's see if that can hold. And then CAR-V is looking slightly better than U1. Those two are combined there, but this one's looking slightly better. So we'll see where that goes today. All right, let's take a look at our moderators lineup this morning so far. Let's get an idea of where we at there. Let's bring our visuals over. That should be good. You guys should see that right there. All right, so we have Mike, break of high of day scanners. He's looking at Apple and Microsoft. Dima is looking at Apple, AMD, CCL, and XPET. Very nice fine-tuned list there. Peter is looking, no IPOs for Peter's. Min, and we've got some other SPACs here that are opening up today. His list also very fine-tuned. Apple, AMD, CCL, secondary list, AMC, NEO, and Space. Notice this. These are all the stocks that we've been watching, you know, the last couple of weeks, guys. So again, you don't have to go crazy today. You know, watch stuff that you've been watching in the past that's been trading very well, and see how they do today with the overall market, right? So you know how these trades, for example, the QFIN, you don't know how that trades. We haven't been watching the QFIN, so I'm aware of that. I have the one on my list, but again, I'm going to be careful on how I actually trade that. Here's Tiffany, Apple, NVIDIA, and Tesla this morning. So that's what we have so far. We'll wait for the other moderators to come up with their list at the moment, and let's take a look here. How we can fine-tune this a little bit more. Guys, we are going live with Brian and I believe Thor this morning, so make sure you hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. You know, we appreciate it. It does help us out a whole lot when you do that, and again, help support the channel. So thank you for that support there. Okay, so our list, let's fine-tune this a little bit more. So we have QFIN on here, bouncing back a little bit. We have AMC, a huge bounce on AMC, so that's nice. Apple is good. Everything getting a little bit of a bounce. It's a SPY bouncing. Not much, but it is. Not much. CCL, NEO, and American Airlines. So again, we got a nice list there. Secondary list, PLTR is looking good. I just wish PLTR could do this at the market open every time. Space, I'm going to get rid of Space, guys. I like the daily on it, but I just want to fine-tune this list a little bit better. We'll get rid of Space. Plug, it could be decent. Tiger, I'm going to get rid of as well. But I think this can trade very well, guys. I think this can be a good one today. Either way, top or down, so this can actually be pretty nice. I'm going to keep that on there. Twitter, I know they got some news out. I'm going to remove it though. I don't like the volume just yet. Twitter trades heavy volume, guys, at the market open, usually not at the pre-market. So if we see something, we hit our scanners nicely, we can take advantage of that. And Workhorse, I like the drop over the last couple of days on Workhorse. Pre-market is okay, not great right now, but I like the potential that we have here on it. We're also sitting right at this area of support and resistance, so a key level for them there. Let's see how they're going to interact with that $11, $12 level there. All right, that looks good, guys. QFIN, you know what? I'm going to move QFIN down, and here's the reason why. This stock can trade a little bit funky, I can see here. So let's bring this down. I'm going to watch stuff that, again, just like Peter's doing there, stuff that we've been watching, just stuff that we've been looking at over the last couple of days. AMC, got to be careful with. We have Apple, we have AMD, CCL, NEO, and American Airlines. I think this is a good list to have this morning. You could do the same, guys. There's so many things you can watch. Look at stuff that you've been trading often, that you know how they move, you know how their characteristics are, and their behaviors. That's going to be important. Brian is looking at Apple. DBGI is a low flow of the day today, is looking very good. CCL and PLTR this morning. Oh, you have PLTR. What's PLTR doing? Yeah, PLTR, I'm telling you, PLTR is looking good today. And if it trades like it did yesterday, it can be a lot of fun. I'm going to move PLTR up because I think it can even replace something like American Airlines, because I really have American Airlines here just to see how the travel sector is going to do with the market conditions that it is now. They've been beat up pretty bad, so we'll see. But I like PLTR a whole lot better. I'm going to move that up, guys, especially now getting this little bounce here with 1.4 million shares traded. So I think this is my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We managed to get 6 somehow. All in the red, all above 1 million plus volume. We are looking decent for today. Guys, Brian and Thor are coming up next, so make sure you hit that thumbs up. Do not leave it on YouTube. We will be transitioning to them shortly. Just a reminder today, guys, it's insane out there, right? The volume is crazy. SPY is wild. I expect a very, very choppy market open. That's just my expectation. When we gap down like this, things do not trade clean, as people are trying to figure out, are we going to head lower, or this is a pullback? Are we buying are we buying the dip, right? So it's just a mess of confusion at times. Again, we could be completely wrong, but be ready to not force a trade. That's very important. Be ready to just sit idle and let things happen, right? The great thing about day trading is that you don't have to be in a position every single time. It's not like a long-term investment or swing trading. This is very different, a whole different animal. You don't have to be in a trade to be a day trader every single day. Very important. So learn when not to trade. It is going to save you money and a lot of headaches and maybe some years in the back end of retirement back there. So think about that. All right, cool. We are all set. We have Brian coming up, waiting for him to log in here. We'll switch over to him. And we are golden, guys. It's going to be a fun day this Thursday as we end this short week. Tomorrow should be very, very good. John coming in with his list. He's looking at coin today, COIN this morning for the break of high strategy that he likes to do. Jason, on days like today, do you ever switch to sim and trade there, or leave the live account alone? I find it difficult to trade in sim on days like this. I usually don't do that. I'll just leave the live account alone, or if I'm itching to trade, I see something that I like, I take 100 shares, take something very, very, very small, and then that prevents from you doing damage to your account. So, but again, guys, patience today. Take your time, because it does seem to me like it's going to be a choppy open. But we have the man, the legend, the myth, Brian. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
All right, excellent.
Thanks for asking. Good morning, everybody.
All
yeah,
right.
my target was 8, but I just wanted to take a lot of it off. Pre-market can be a little dicey.
All right, Brian, I'm going to have Thor join shortly. I'm going to send him a link. But what is your experience on days like this when the market is opening so wild and gapping down so much?
Yeah, it's kind of the same scenario when you come in and a market's up, like everything's up really strong or down strong. It's like, yeah, when you get the open, it's kind of like traders are sort of sitting, looking around, thinking, okay, so where do we go from here? So yeah, it could be. I agree with your comment. It could be a little bit choppy at the open here. So we'll see if the buying brigade comes in right away and starts to buy things up here. But right now, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of red on the screen again today. So, good morning,
Hey, good morning.
Thor.
How's it going?
I'm doing okay. Got one trade in already.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. So I'm going to be watching DBGI because apparently that seems to be the stock that's in play right now. Watch. Yeah, I don't know. They'll see what happens. Apple's, people are coming in and buying Apple right now. Qs are popping up a little bit.
Yeah, one thing you were just saying, Brian, which I totally agree with, and Carlos was asking about how do you play, days like this? Well, you got to think, everything looks really, really weak, but don't get, duped in to thinking that now that everything has sold off a ton, that it's just going to continue selling on. There are positions to be, covered. There are shorts to be squeezed all day, every day. So if it gets into the right area, you can always see massive rallies off of drop days like this. So I like exactly what, basically everyone else is saying, which is, likely going to chop a little bit, maybe have a couple early runners just as things get going, but don't just commit full on to anything until you really get a feel for what the market as a general is going to do today. And it could take 15 minutes, a half hour to really start, putting that into perspective.
Mm-hmm. See, Jarad is going to be watching AMC. He's the AMC guy, just like Peter's
AMC has a lot of volume today.
Guy, yeah. Well, yes, a lot of these meme stocks, the ones that have been sort of prominent on over the last week or so, Blinn, Emrin, they're all down. Yeah, a lot of stuff. U1 is up. So we'll be looking for a bit of a pullback here on DBGI. We'll see what it does as we get into sort of the open here.
Everything, Brian, looks like it's kind of doing like a little like pre-open squeeze right now, like especially tech, like Qs and everything, all made a run back up to VWAP or so, maybe a little bit above it, and now it's setting here. So that makes things a little interesting. I've been following that a lot more since you pointed that out. I think it was like 2 weeks ago, maybe, or 3 weeks ago, where you kind of talked about the behavior on a lot of these sell-off stocks that they'll often rally into the open and then squeeze, and then they continue on their path. So I'm going to be watching for that a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'd be watching Apple too. I mean, I think some it's not down that much, and I think that because it's been so strong, I think you'll have some buying interest there. So but we'll have to wait and see how things play out. Energy's down, financials are down. The dollar's down today. What's going on with yields? Okay, so yields are down again today. TLT's up. Interesting.
SPY is super flat right now.
Yeah. All right, well, we've still got 7 minutes here, so yeah, NAG, yeah, we were talking about that at the close yesterday. Probably a good thing didn't take anything overnight on NAG. It's taken a beating today. Yeah, nothing. Actually, it's kind of interesting. GDX and GDXJ are actually green on the day.
SPY is really sandwiching in flat right here. It's basically VWAP value, all the averages, like 9 through 50, basically. Everything's just in a 25, 30 cent range right now. So definitely no bias on the market at the moment. It's about as non-biased as it could be. So that's the other issue we're going to have to worry about, is if we open in some kind of like balance or the market, instead of running one direction or the other, just starts hitting shares right here, and it's going to make all of our attempts like very difficult, because you're going to basically just trade against a flat market, and we need movement, we need volatility. So if things just kind of chop for a while, we're going to lose a lot of losing trades before the winners start to take place.
Apple just took a bit of a dive there.
Dang. I agree, Mark. SPY does look more loaded to the downside.
I'm back in a sec.
Right on. Apple's SPY and like correlating stocks that are similar, they all seem to be pretty heavy right now. So we've definitely got lots of short sellers that are committed to this and are very happy right now. So, but for me, and exactly. So I'm going to say this too, Matt. Historically, these are the kind of markets that I do not excel in, because we've basically blown out all the extremes already. I like to play from one side of the chart to the other side of the chart, basically from highs to lows, lows to highs, and I like to play the movement of those extremes back and forth. But what happens when you're already gapped out the entire market and everything into the extremes, right? You don't know if it's going to keep running. You don't know if it's going to reverse. There's really no major thing to do. So L2 wise, a lot of these still look really heavy. So we could get a big slam at the beginning and then go for rally. Or we could have the flip on that. We could instantly squeeze. So it's going to be trickier today for sure. These are definitely the markets that I tend to get chopped up a little bit in, most often because I try and get in a little early instead of just waiting to let things kind of balance out a bit and find value. Let's see. Yeah, like Neo's got some really big bids down near 43. And bid coming in right at the price. We're breaking through S4. So maybe, Neo actually looks like it could snap down and then go into a squeeze. So if the market rallies at all, Neo might be a great play for an S4 style rejection, if you will, for a squeeze back long. But if the market fails, Neo's got plenty of liquidity to the downside, so it could go with it. But maybe a slam and squeeze off of Neo if the market opens weak and then rallies. I can use the 5th and 6th cams at this level, Joe, but for me, the 5th and 6th cams are just gray area, so I don't have a bias when I play them. But if something sits up on them, then yeah, absolutely. But I prefer to play the more the central pivots. Two-minute warning, or a minute and a half warning, I should say. Hey, Paul, Andrew is amazing. He's living the Andrew life. I believe he woke up this morning on the side of a mountain in Peru or something like that, if I saw his social media. Always make sure to follow Andrew's Twitter and stuff like that, because you get a really good feeling of what he's up to. He's very generous with sharing his personal life as well. So, check that out, and you can kind of see when he's up to this kind of cool stuff. But yeah, he's living the Andrew life.
Stuff's starting to come up a bit here. AMD's picking up. CCL. I suspect we'll get a drop at the open regardless. I'm looking at GAME too, GAME. It's gapping up, but thinking about possible short. Space is warming up here. All right, 30 seconds to the open, people. So we'll see what happens. I'm kind of focusing on DBGI and game. And we'll keep Apple and see. I'll keep an eye on those. But I'm not going to be in a hurry, I don't think, to
Whoa.
jump into anything. What? Oh,
Mia,
PLTR
what is
just
up with
popped.
that?
And space just popped. Yeah, get a pop on space and PLTR too. It's kind of weird. CCL's popping up here. Not going to trust too much here at the open.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Got a short on game, but it's really spreads really bad on it. Just noticing. Just, covered some at 12. DBGI looking like it's going to go here.
I got a quick pop on just about
Got some-
everything.
Yeah. Just long some DBGI. There we go. I'm still long DBGI. Still going. Game's not doing anything here, so I'm going to probably sell this. It's DBGI going to 7 or 9, I should say. Let's see what happens here.
Well, my platform is lagging. There we go. I just switched quote servers on my DOS, and now I've got good quotes. I knew something was going on.
Mm-hmm. Oops, yeah, Apple's picking it up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I figured was going to happen.
Yeah,
Bit of
getting
a
that
sell-off.
squeeze.
Yeah. No, the buyers are coming in on Apple. DBGI is pulling back to. If it drops below 8, I'll have to bail on it, but still holding half. Everything popped up a bit. CCL, PLTR, SPY's picking it up a bit. AMD's popping. Yeah, everything, all the buyers are coming in here. The buying brigade. Yeah, just be careful on this initial pop. We may get, we might get a bit of a pullback here. People selling into this.
I went short a little bit of space at this, like right near 44.80. It's pulled down away from me pretty good. If this rallies up and makes a new high, I'll get out at break even. But if it holds here and presses low, I should be good.
Okay, I'm out of the rest of DBGI.
Never mind. Out of break even.
Watch to see what Apple does here. We're right at yesterday's low.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to try a little short off of that.
Spaces, yeah, base PLTR all popping up here.
Be right back.
Yeah, volume really didn't get a lot of volume coming back into DBGI here. Kind of died off. Wow, space is blasting off here.
All right. Let's see here. Cut my Apple position to break even. The bulls are still very aggressive. I know the ladder to the top side on the ass just got really stacked near like 143, so I cut that one. So I'm going to sit back and just wait for a minute.
I got long some Apple just as it started to come back up here. Space actually went green on the day. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm long some Neo 143.65. Got a little partial on that one, and then it immediately died on me. Jeez.
Yeah,
one of those days.
I'm looking at Apple. It's just it's hoping for a better push through 143. Here we go. That's better. eh? Still going.
Yeah,
there.
Mark, I'm going to watch it around
Squeeze.
these levels here.
Huh. I'm selling some Apple through this 143 level. It's watching space on this pullback.
All right, I'm also short an Apple off of the daily level. Entry is 143.04.
I'm getting him out of the rest of Apple here, just because Thor's got me nervous.
Don't know if this will hold as a short, but I like the way it held off of it. So I'm up an
Yeah.
R on it.
I'm out flat on the rest, so I made small amount. I'm just keeping an eye on space
first
here.
partial.
See where it goes. Yeah, glad I got out of that. It's like I said, everything's pretty choppy here this morning. If space gets down to 145, I'm thinking of taking a long in this area. This is looking for a bounce here off the previous day close. It's got long some space at 45.33. Didn't look like it was going to get down there. Here we go. Selling some here at 53. SPY's rolling over a bit.
Good. That'll help me out. Come on now.
Sold some more at 53 just because it's not sure if we're going to get a move back up here.
CARV went launched. Got a couple got that one. Good job, y'all.
Yeah, SPY is going to roll over. I'm getting out of space because I don't like being short when the SPY is starting to roll over here.
All right, got another partial on Apple at the 20 EMA. Just above VWAP. If it keeps going from here, I'm good. But this is going to be a bounce point if there is going to be one. Bid loading to the downside a little bit on Apple too, so I've got some help. Good SPY rollover. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Perfect rally back to the previous daily level. I mean, to the penny, and then failed off of the daily level.
Okay. So, well, DBGI actually opened. Wow, gap down. That was a halt on the downside.
There we go. There we go. Partial at 142. Very nice.
Yeah, nice.
Ooh, hey. Now we're talking. Let's go to 141. What do you say, Mark?
Ah, there goes space. Dang, damn it. Yeah, that was the pop I was looking for. Just didn't like the way SPY was rolling over on everything. Yeah, that was the bounce. That was the bounce I was looking for on space. There, a really nice follow through there.
I just took space short.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I'm not in it now.
Yeah, just under 46. So it kind of double topped there under R3.
Yeah,
Low
yeah,
volume
definitely
push.
put in it. Yeah, definitely put in a double top there. Yeah, now it's going to drop. It's back at the VWAP in the 9.
All right, little out, more Apple here at just above 141.50. Next target's 141. Man, thank you, Apple.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought Apple's gonna probably find some support here, just based on the pre-market levels. I got long some space again here at 45.10.
Brian's gonna squeeze me.
Yeah, just I'm gonna take some off here. You're making me nervous. It just held this 45 level again. Sort
No,
of
I love the
VWAP.
long. Held 45, 2 daily level.
Yeah.
Or what is that? Yesterday's close, pre-market high.
Yeah.
I'm still holding.
Crapshoot.
Come squeeze me.
It's crapshoot here.
Mark, I lost an R on Apple trying to get in earlier, and then I'm up a couple R on it now. So I'm up about 4R on this position. So I'm up about 2R total on Apple now in general. When I went short at 143.04, and I used the break of the daily level. So I ran just barely a little over a 10-cent risk for that one. First partial was at like near 142.50, and I've just been hitting basically 50-cent increments all the way down. I got a big drop coming at 141 if we can get down to it.
It's taking more space off here. Just feels like I don't have an edge one way or another. It could go either way. Could squeeze back up. Could drop like a stone. I am out of the rest. You might be right. I think you're.
Thanks, Peter.
You know, there's there's like that around space. We're right at yesterday's close. There's a 9 moving average and the VWAP kind of just below it. So there's lots of support there. Just see what it does. Wow. Okay. Apple lost that.
There it is. There it is. Boom. 141. That was the big drop. That was my core position. I just dropped at 141. So now we're talking. Now I'm just playing with lunch money. Sweet. What'd we say, man? Squeeze and fade.
Yep.
Come on now.
Yep.
Wow.
Squeezed up, and then the buyer stepped in again, or sellers, I should say. Still thinks, yeah, space could push again here. Just a whole bunch of support levels right there.
Give me one second.
Yeah,
Right back.
Q's really sold off. I think we're going to get another bottom here. Yeah, there's that squeeze on space again. I knew that was there. Here we go. GME high of day. That's funny.
All right, looks like when I went to do that, looks like space squeezed on me. Yep, Brian won.
Well, eventually. You know, you could have, like I said, there was just a lot of levels, support levels right there.
All right, Apple's starting its little squeeze after the big sell. Let this thing walk its way back up to like VWAP or something, and if it goes weak, I'm going to add on. If we like get too far above 142, I'll probably cut it and capture my last like R or two on the remaining position.
Yeah, a new game could have stuck with a short on that. It definitely had a drop in it. Q's bouncing back, SPY's bouncing back. Wow, DBGI has been a disaster du jour. Oh, nice, nice trade on Carve. I looked at Carve. I took it off because I didn't have. I think they had it. Was that the one that didn't have any shorts? And I didn't like the spread on it. Wow, has it ever performed? Carve was the one. I guess that Carve took all the volume away from DBGI. U1 is taking off now.
SPY is putting in an incredible 5-minute squeeze right now.
Yeah.
But the volume is not huge considering the size of the candle. I'm adding into my Apple short at 141.60 new average cost, the loss of 142.
Gonna have to watch. Gonna have to put Carve back up on the screen here. It's gonna be the. Is it gonna be the new egg of Thursday? AMC. The meme stocks. Oh, look at AMC go. Wow. Look at space. Space is right at yesterday's high now. That was the squeeze. I know. Crazy.
Nice sniper focus. I don't know if anything made me rich today, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I left a lot of money on the table with space. Damn risk management anyway.
Mm-hmm. If only we didn't need it.
I guess if we were independently wealthy,
Buffett.
we wouldn't.
Yeah, Buffett style.
Yeah.
I don't think he used risk management for the first like 60 years of his career or something like that.
Right, yeah. Just buy and hold. Funny, Nicola's green for some reason. So is Beyond the Meat. So just waiting for Carve to open up here. When did we close? 9:53:30, 9:58:30. So another minute and a half.
Yeah, I agree, Sammer. Apple's volume's starting to dwindle. We're finding some kind of consolidation area it's starting to peak into. So might not get much more downside on this, although there is plenty of bid there. So, but the level 2 is starting to stack to the top side, so we might rally and squeeze.
Space still going. A bit of a long on that, just for a 47 roll. Carve is open. Dropping back here. Took a bit of a long there on that pullback. Pretty squirrely. I'm just keep the share size small here. Dropping back. I'm going to get out of it there to 20 back at 25 back at break even. I don't know what it's going to do here. It's probably going to go higher. But it's just a little bit crazy. Space should just who's stuck with space?
All right, I went ahead and cut the rest of my Apple position.
Jeez.
Wow.
It's just amazing.
Look at that thing go.
It's going through 48 now, probably, after this pullback. We're going to get a bit of a pullback here. Just watching space right now. Let's try taking a long space here at 47, 47.05 filled. Just going to sell some here, 47.40. We're in space, Peter.
That's pretty awesome. Falling through space.
Okay, come on, space. It's right at yesterday's close, so should have some support here.
All right, SPY just made a new 5-minute low. And it's starting to sell.
Wow, Carve is, because Carve get halted again. Looks like it.
Yeah.
Dang.
DOS says its short interest is 60%. Is that right?
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting out of space here, as long as it holds the yesterday's high.
All right, I just longed out. I flipped sides here. Got above VWAP.
There
We're
we
holding,
go.
so we'll give her a go.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you talking? Are you talking about Apple? Come on, give me a squeeze here, space. There we go. There we go. Squeezing. Sold some more here at 30.
Gonna go break even on Apple. I'm over an R, so let's go. I'm gonna go break even. If it peels back down and hits me, I'll stop out on it. This should work, or it shouldn't, but I shouldn't really get a retest here. If it does, it's probably gonna just fail S6.
Just selling some more space here at 40, 47.40. There we go. So now we're going to get back up here. There's a pivot level here on space at about 55.
Come on. There you go. I'm actually going to cut a little bit of my Apple position here. It's about a 1.5 R, but I don't like that we're not going anywhere. So I'm going to just take a little bit off now. I think this thing's going to might come back down and slam me. Yeah, I'm out. Good call.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Still sticking with space here. If it drops much more, just
And
have
Neo took off.
quarter size left here. Yeah, CCL's popping. It's right at high of day. Nope, CRV. Carve is open again. Just took a long on Carve again. See if we can get through 30.
Riding the roller coaster that is Carve.
Yeah. All right. Selling it here. 55, 30, 55. I think I sold it into that. Was it another halt? Okay, so that was a decent.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a decent trade.
All right, is that number 3 on the pauses?
Yep.
Number 4.
Was that number 4? Yeah, you know, I think you're right.
my
It
gosh.
is. I missed this one, 2. Yeah. I wish I'd have gotten
That's
a
amazing.
better entry. It's just, well, okay, I'm not, can't be unhappy with that.
Probably just made a new 5-minute low. Starting to sell again. Fakey. It keeps doing these little fakey breakdowns. Silly.
Yeah, definitely. That's that's typically when you get into kind of a down market. It's they're definitely harder to trade. Things are when things are going down, it's definitely a little more volatile. PLTR is breaking out here. It's gone green on the day actually. Nicola's still up. It's interesting. It's going higher. It's to deal with Nicola. CCL's breaking out here. It's at day high. PLTR keeps going. Interesting. So I'm still holding on to that space trade. I've still got a quarter size left. It's stalling out at S4 here. Or I should say R4, sorry. You can get a squeeze, but still looking for that squeeze back to 48. See if we can get up there, but I'm not sure if we're getting a little toppy here on space. Here we go. Time is it 45 minutes into the trading day, so it's things are kind of settling out a bit. mRNA is
There
popping
goes
up on
Carve.
the scanner. And VAX, Carve is up, open again.
Yeah, Carve's open and taking off. Get ready for the next one.
Exactly.
$35 or $35.15.
Yeah, this is going to do the N egg.
There it
New
goes.
egg.
$35.15.
It's going to go. Yeah, it's going to go to $80.
Woo! Pow.
Yeah, here we go again, eh? Going into another halt,
Dang.
maybe. No, they're trying to keep it from halting.
Yeah, they pulled it off of 35.15 just long enough to let it hit the new minute, and then pow. What did Carve do? Oh, paused.
Yeah, another volatility halt. Just be careful on this one now. We've had a lot of halts on it. We're starting to get into the realm
just
of
a squeeze?
it says I got only 27% short interest. But this
Doc
is
shows
a
it
really
at
low.
like 60.
Yeah, but the float on it is only like 500,000 shares, which it's such a tiny float.
I got no news on it.
It's a Wall Street Bets thing, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
See what FinViz says about it.
Not much. I was just looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't really see it on WSP's website. I didn't check their Twitter feed.
Short float 49%. It does have the float at 500,000 shares. Huh. Yeah, I'd be careful because this next open you could see you could see a big drop, and if it gets halted on the way down, that'll be ugly. But just like NEG, watch for a later day move on it because NEG did the same thing yesterday. Um, we had a big opening push, pulled back a bit, and then we had another late day run on it. So yeah, it looks like about pulled back, and then NA kind of consolidated for most of the morning, and then into the afternoon had a nice run up again on it. Wish. A couple of things have gone green here. Fubo went green. Wow. DD's gone green. Space, here we go.
Yeah, space is the one that's really kind of blowing my mind a little bit. I mean, I guess if you look at the daily and the weekly, this move isn't too surprising. But seeing it on the 1 and 5, just seeing it move the entire range of the day already, that was pretty crazy. It's really been going.
Yeah, Wish could be a 920 trade. We're coming right down to the 20 moving average right now, which is also previous day close. So could take a long here. The only thing is the 9 isn't really that far away from the 20 on this, so you're not going to get a huge move. You might get back to 1107. And then the high of the day is at that is at R level, R3, 1120. So you're not going to get a great dollar move on it. Just waiting for space here.
I went ahead and opened a position short on Apple at 142.10. I'm gonna see if this thing. It's been consolidating here for. We'll see what happens.
Here's that big drop on Carve. Did we get halted on that drop? Yep, by the looks of it. Okay, so that's pretty much it's almost doing exactly the same thing that Newegg did yesterday. You had that sort of last crescendo of buying, and then there was just buyer exhaustion.
Carve, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and this drop again, just like Newegg yesterday, this drop happened on almost no volume.
Yeah, Carve's ladder to the top side still very well developed. So even at open, we could drop and then start running again.
I always find it interesting, those drops that they just don't have any volume, but it's just an indication that there's just nobody left up. Once it's up here, there's just nobody left to buy it, and all you have is a few sellers. and they just push the stock down like $5, and it halts.
All right, covering some Apple here.
Yeah, nice.
Yes. I'm just going to
SPY
play
is
Apple all day and nothing else.
yeah, SPY is rolling over.
Yeah, SPY, Mr. T, that's kind of why I went short on Apple, because it had been consolidating for a while, and then the SPY finally made a new 5-minute low. And when it made that new 5-minute low, I could see the bid on Apple loaded, and I was like, all right, yeah, it's time. So I grabbed the short. We're at opening price right now. If it can lose this again, I probably get a drop back down to like 141.
Well, I'm out of or space, I should say. It looks like space might do a 920 here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Yeah, I
dropping
think
down
Space
through
has
the
made a
9.
big run right now. Its ATR
Yeah.
is really, I mean, it ran all the way from S4 to R4. That's pretty wide run, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this give a little back.
It's the 20 moving average is right at the yesterday's high. So again, an area of support. So I'd be looking for a long around 46.60.
SPY just made a new low of day. Going for pre-market low now.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful Carnival trade.
Yeah, CCL had a nice run back up after it popped, dropped, and then had a really nice run back.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, Doom. CCL, one of the reasons I like trading it so much is it follows a lot of the rules. So it's can be a little tricky to figure out what average it's using, or what level it's using. But once you figure it out, it honors it very, very well. I always like the way CCL trades for me.
Okay, it took a bit of a long here on space 46.67. Really tight stop here. 46.60 will be my stop. Come on, space.
Come on, Apple. Let's go. Go, go, go. There we go.
Don't like the spies going the wrong way.
SPY always likes pre-market low, so if it starts beating it up too much, could be interesting. We're kind of hovering here just above pre-market low, which is 427.50, and we just kind of keep buying up off of it. Every time you get near it, bulls step in real fast, push it right up.
It's going to take some off here at 46.77, just in case. Oh, SPY's coming up.
Cut the rest of my Apple position.
Here we go. Selling some here, 94. Just about out of this trade on space.
SPY just lit.
So, wow.
Good volume too.
Come on, get through there. There we go. Now that's what I wanted, 47 print. The old 920 trade.
Bulls stepped up big time on SPY at the pre-market low.
Yeah.
Like I said, SPY loves pre-market low. They bought it off of it, and then it hammered and made a new 5-minute high, and then the volume came in. Boom. I mean, popped $1.
So spaces doesn't look like it's going to get above the 9 here. So I'm out of the rest of it. Flat on the rest. So the strategy on the 920 trade is take it off the 20, take at least half off at the back up at the 9, and then let the rest run, or stop out. And in this case, stopped out.
So it is 10:30. So I just wanted to take a minute and say hello and thank you to everybody out there in YouTube land for trading with us and keeping us out. If you don't mind, please take a moment to like this video. The more you do that, the more often we'll run these through 10:30 instead of those. Also, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and that will make sure you get notified whenever we're going live in the mornings. Otherwise, I hope everyone had a great trading day with us. And as always, keep it green, y'all.
Yeah. Keep it green, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. it was an interesting day for sure. Lots of opportunities, definitely. And keep an eye on CARV as we pull back here, and it'll start to consolidate during the day. Watch for that later in the day move higher.
Welcome back.
All right.